Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Brother John Muhammad, and this is Tell Me Now Network. I'm Brother John Muhammad. I was born and raised right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I say that, but I was born in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, but I don't really have any memory of that. We moved to St. Petersburg and back to Florida when I was around 2 years old. We moved, a lot when I was growing up, and so I've lived in almost every neighborhood in the city, but during my teenage years, we settled over here in the Childs Park neighborhood, and so that's where I live. I do my work from here, and I actually enjoy, being here. Growing up here in Childs Park, it has a different name or different branding than what people often experience when you live here. So people have their own perceptions and realities about, what goes on in what they call the hood. But I have a real affinity for it. I love the community. And one of the ways I demonstrate that love for the community is by being involved with the neighborhood association. So a lot of people know me from the work that I do with the Childs Park Neighborhood Association, because that's primarily where a lot of my community activities derive from. After becoming president, we started doing these Stop the Violence rallies around the city, and then we formed this nonprofit organization called CDAT, or the Community Development and Training Center. The thing that actually motivated me to begin this work is my mother. I was the baby boy, or I should say I am the baby boy of four. I have four older sisters, and when I was about 6 years old, my mom, my grandmother, my father's mother, went to my mom and told her about a vision that she had for me, and she told my mom that I was born to be a great man of God, and that kind of set the course for my life. So I'm really thankful to my grandmother for having that vision. But then my mother, she believed in the vision, and she always shared that with me, and she gave me that sense of purpose. Early on, we interpreted being a great man of God as being a preacher. And so, people would ask me, in like third grade, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wanted to be a preacher, but it was just because it was like I didn't really have a choice. It was because that's what my mom told me I was born to do, and I believed it. And that was really one of the greatest gifts that I ever received in my life, because I didn't really have to figure out, what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do, which is what a lot of people struggle with. But my fuel and what motivates me is my belief and my faith in God. And I believe that the way we serve God is by serving our people and serving our community. And so that's what really motivates me is my sense of obligation and responsibility to live up to the calling that was put on my life, and that was shared with my mother, shared to my mother from my grandmother, but she always nursed that and she fed me that from a very early age. So that's why we do it. And I ended up joining the Nation of Islam, because at around 14, living in the hood, as we call it, I started doing what some of the people in the hood do. I started getting involved with drugs and hanging out later than I should, coming home late, and then all of the things that come along with that. And so when I was around 19, a lot of different things was happening. Really 17, 18, and 19 was some very trying years. My best friend, my brother from another mother, was sentenced to 58 years in prison. My father had passed. My uncle passed 2 months before that. Another friend of mine got hit by a car and was paralyzed from, like the waist down. And just knowing the path that I was on, I had to do something different. So I ran into some Jehovah Witnesses that were posted up at the store, in the corner store, and they started me to reading my Bible and studying. So I started going to church and getting involved with, the church and searching. And so I ended up, joining the Nation of Islam on that path. And from there, I started finding that being a man of God didn't always have to require you to preach. And so I'm not a preacher, I'm a community, servant leader. But that's kind of the path that led me to this point. And again, this is Brother John on Tell Me Now Network. Believe and do good.
Peace in the streets, love to my brothers, love to my sisters. We all need each other. Children need their mothers and they need their dads. Taking a life that don't make you bad. The fact that you do that is so sad. Pocket watching, plotting on another man's cash. Pick up a book instead of picking up a gun. Increase your knowledge and that'll increase your